I knew something was off the moment we pulled into the gravel parking lot. A countryside anniversary surprise, Emily said. No phones allowed, no reception, no other cars, just us in a lone wooden restaurant surrounded by thick trees. She smiled too much, that rehearsed kind of sweet. I tried to ignore the knots in my stomach. Maybe I was just being paranoid. Inside, the place smelled of aged wood and garlic. A soft tune played from a radio. The only waitress, a woman with tired eyes and chipped red nails, greeted us stiffly. Emily ordered wine before I could even sit. Halfway through the bread basket, Emily stood up to powder her nose. That's when it happened. The waitress returned, but instead of more water, she placed a folded napkin near my hand. She didn't look at me, just whispered low enough I almost didn't catch it. Run, use the back exit, don't look back. I blinked. What? She was already gone. My heart dropped. Something in her voice wasn't playful. It was terrified. I glanced around. Empty restaurant, one exit behind the counter. A hallway near the restrooms. My pulse roared in my ears. I stood up slowly, slid my chair in, and walked casually toward the hallway. I found a rear door propped open with a crate, and I ran through gravel, through woods, not stopping until I hit asphalt. I turned around, and that's when I heard it. A sound I'll never forget, blast shattering, a woman screaming, and then silence. I didn't sleep that night. I sat in my truck on the edge of a gas station parking lot, staring at my wedding ring. My hands wouldn't stop shaking. My mind kept replaying that waitress's voice, the urgency in it, the panic. Why did she tell me to run? Why not call the police? My phone was back at the restaurant, left it on the table like Emily asked. Let's unplug, she had said. I should have known. At sunrise, I drove back. The restaurant was closed, the door boarded up. No signs of police, no staff cars, nothing, like it had never existed. I asked a nearby fruit stand owner how long the place had been shut down. He looked at me like I was crazy. It's been closed over a year. Health violations. Nobody goes near it. My blood ran cold. I drove home like a man possessed, parked down the street, watched the house for an hour before going in. Emily was in the kitchen cooking eggs like nothing happened. She turned, smiled. You left your phone. I forced a smile back. Yeah, crazy night. She studied me. Everything okay? I nodded, but in my mind I was screaming. Later that evening, I went online. I searched property records. I searched Emily's phone records, credit statements. I dug like a man desperate for air. And when I checked the surveillance feed on our doorbell cam, the one Emily didn't know I installed, what I saw made my blood run ice cold. I watched the doorbell footage on a loop. Exactly 9:24 p.m., the time I would have been in the bathroom if I hadn't run, a black SUV pulled up outside our home. No license plate, had lights off. 3 men got out, 2 wore gloves. One had something in his hand, shiny long a crowbar. They stood at my front door, waited. Emily didn't answer, not at first. Then the door opened. She stepped out, whispered something to the tall one, and handed him my car keys. My car. I felt like vomiting. The footage ended abruptly. I clicked back, rewatched. Same moves, same timing. My wife, the woman I loved for 8 years, calmly participating in something I didn't understand. Or maybe I did. Somewhere in my gut I already knew. She was trying to get rid of me. I stared at the screen for an hour, then transferred the footage to a hidden flash drive. I started packing, not running, no preparing. I went to the local sheriff's office the next morning, quietly told them I suspected a break-in attempt. Didn't mention my wife, just asked for extra patrols. They said they'd keep an eye. I doubted it, but I wasn't counting on them. I was counting on what I found next in the attic, something Emily didn't know I kept, and that one item changed everything. I hadn't touched the attic in years, dust-coated everything, holiday decorations, boxes of old baby clothes. But behind the insulation, tucked into a compartment I'd built myself back when Emily and I were still renovating the place together, was an old fireproof case, combination locked. I cracked it open with shaking hands. Inside was the contract, a signed document Emily made me shred after we first married, or so she thought. It proved I owned the property before our marriage. My parents left it to me in the prenup also, and signed by her. She always said we didn't need it. We'll never be the type of couple who worries about money, she had whispered. Right, I also found a flash drive, the one I used to store old client files from my short time as a private investigator. I hadn't worked a case in years, but now that part of me was wide awake again. I made a list. Step 1, surveillance. Step 2, bait. I installed a camera near the garage, another in the kitchen, and one inside the fake air freshener in our bedroom. Then I waited while Emily smiled sweetly each morning, kissed my cheek, cooked dinner, watched her shows like nothing was wrong, but her phone habits changed. She whispered more, smiled at texts until I finally caught the name. Aaron, the man she used to date, and when I saw what they planned next, I stopped breathing. It got worse. The texts between Emily and Aaron weren't just about meeting up. They were about me, about the money she wanted access to, about what I might do if I ever found out, about how hard it was to keep pretending every night. But then she wrote something that froze my blood. He's too smart to kill directly, but if something happened to the brakes again, like last time again. They already tried once, my memory went sharp. Last winter, Emily had begged me to take her car on a snowy day. I crashed into a pole when the brakes failed. It never felt right. Mechanics blamed salt corrosion. Now it made sense. The second attempt was supposed to be our anniversary, but they didn't get the chance. I copied the messages, screenshots, recordings, and saved it all to a backup drive. Then I mailed one copy to my lawyer under the label property and divorce materials. No details, just insurance. And that's when the idea hit me. The kind of revenge you don't scream about. The kind that cuts deeper than betrayal ever could. She wanted to play with lies. Fine, I'd use truth like a scalpel. But first I had to bait the trap, and for that I'd need her to feel comfortable, safe enough to gloat. So I smiled and I told her I'm planning a little surprise. The next morning I acted like nothing had changed. I brought her coffee, kissed her on the cheek, said I had a surprise planned for the weekend, something remote, peaceful. Her eyes sparkled. Finally she said, "You're really trying again." I smiled back, "I am." Meanwhile I bought 2 tickets to a mountain lodge she always wanted to visit, then canceled one. I wasn't going. I arranged the suite under her name, but with a note to the hotel manager that the guest may be dangerous and to alert me if any unfamiliar men checked in under my card. Then I dropped a breadcrumb, told her I'd arrive a few hours after her due to work. "You go ahead, unwind. I'll catch up." She fell for it. That Friday I watched from across the hotel parking lot in my rental car. She checked in alone. Less than an hour later, a black SUV pulled in. Erin stepped out, duffel bag in hand. I texted the hotel staff, confirmed my suspicion. A minute later, they replied, "Yes, room 214, they're inside." I waited 5 more hours, then I walked to reception, requested the desk clerk to give her a note from me, and left. Red smile. "You're on camera and I'm already home with your attorney." I didn't return home that night. I went to my sister's. She's the only one who ever told me that woman doesn't look at you like someone she loves. She looks at you like a plan. I didn't want to believe it then. Now I couldn't ignore it. By the next morning I had screenshots from the lodge's hallway cameras. I had timestamps of Erin entering, proof they signed the mini bar receipt together, everything I needed from 2 states away. I emailed her lawyer before she even got home. When she walked through the front door on Sunday evening, I was already gone. My side of the closet was empty. The framed wedding photos gone. The only thing I left was a red envelope on the kitchen counter. Inside, a printed copy of the hotel receipts, a USB with the camera footage, my signed divorce papers, and a post-it note that read, "This time I'm the one who left early." I blocked her number. Sent a formal letter to her mother's house stating I no longer consented to contact and I wasn't paying the remainder of her car loan. It wasn't just revenge, it was freedom. But there was one final thing I had to do for myself and for the waitress who saved my life, because what she told me the next day was something I couldn't ignore. 3 days after the divorce papers were served, I visited the waitress. Her name was Marissa. She lived in a small rented studio above the restaurant. When I asked her why she helped me, her eyes filled with something between fear and guilt. "She brings men here often," she said quietly. I wasn't supposed to say anything, but when I saw how you looked at her like she was your whole world, I just couldn't let her do it again. I thanked her and I meant it. She didn't just save me from betrayal. She gave me my life back and I didn't waste it. Over the next few months, I quietly built something new without her. I bought a smaller apartment, paid off my car, learned to cook, got promoted. Meanwhile, her life imploded. Her soulmate Erin, he ghosted her 2 weeks after I left. She tried crawling back, messages, emails, even sent a bouquet to my office, but I never responded. Not until I saw her standing outside my apartment one rainy evening, soaked, mascara running, voice trembling. "Please, I made a mistake." I opened the door halfway, handed her a single sheet of paper. It was the final court approval of the divorce. Below it I had written, "No more anniversaries, no more exits, no more me." Then I closed the door slowly, quietly, and this time she was the one left standing outside in the cold alone.